Yeah,
and
all good.
that's what it's all about. We're not on yet, are we?
About to be. Yep, right now.
Okay, good. So, Colin, it's been a while since we've spoken.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's the Banter, Colin Dunlap and Richard Bazzy. And man, there's a lot to talk about. And I know you have some inside scoop for us. But before we do, can I play a little I Told You So?
Let's hear it.
A little I Told You So. Now,
you
see these wonderful glasses that I wear?
Yeah, they have their hindsight glasses.
They're
They are.
And that's why they're 2020. But they're also the glasses that I saw hotshot Joe Burrow wear to the Super Bowl with his hotshot suit.
Right.
Which is what precipitated me saying hotshot, one and done, and that's that. And I said that. Now, I say bye-bye Joe Burrow. Now, you're going to disagree. You're going to tell me how they're reshuffling and reorganizing their offensive line. And I get all that. And it's only one game. I get that too. But I have to be honest, I felt a little bit of pride by being the predictor of one and done. Now, he may come back and win 15.
I don't think he'll ever play in a Super Bowl again the rest of his career.
Neither do I.
I think the AFC quarterbacks are just too good. The guy with the Chargers, you have Buffalo, you have Patrick Mahomes. Don't forget about Patrick Mahomes. You have who knows what's going to happen here in Pittsburgh? Who knows what's going to happen in Cincinnati and in Cleveland and in Baltimore just to get out of the division. There's so many great quarterbacks in the AFC. Who knows what Russell Wilson turns into in the next year or two in Denver? It is. I think it was his Dan Marino moment, going to the Super Bowl early, and he never gets back.
I agree with that 100%. Is why we connect. It's why you and I do this show together. And then the other thing that I'm going to put my hindsight glasses on, and I'm hoping it's not foresight also, but when we play a hockey game, we sing the national anthem, unless we're from Canada. Then what do we say? Oh, Canada.
Right. Oh.
And I say, oh, Canada, as it revolves in Pittsburgh in the offensive coordinator position. I am not a fan. I said that last year. I say it again today. I see a lot of people are jumping on that bandwagon saying, and you thought the problem was number 7. The problem wasn't number 7. So I don't know. I'm not going to comment about that.
Yeah, but you never wavered from this. Like, you were sending me texts and you were talking to me at the end of the year last year, and you said, I understand Ben's skill set is limited, but the offensive coordinator is not very good. Then in the off season when there was no football, I mean, I'm talking, June and July, you're sending me texts saying, all these personnel moves and everything that's going to happen, they're great, but the offensive coordinator still is a problem until he proves to me that he's not. So I can attest to this. You've never been keen on this move. Even from the day he was hired, I remember you sending me a text when they elevated him, and you said, what has he done to earn a promotion?
Yeah. And so that, even more specifically, I couldn't get the game. I listened to the game. So as I listened to the game, and then the first possession, 3rd and 2, first possession, we throw the ball underneath the 2 yards, and we don't get the first down. And I thought, oh my heavens, it's deja vu. It's last year. But remember, I am not a football coach. There's so many variables. I get it. But if it were me, not just as a coach, but as a leader of that organization, I would have 2 conversations. I would have conversation number 1 with the receiver that would say, if you ever run a 3rd down play, and 3rd and short, and you don't go extend beyond those sticks, sit down on the bench until you figure it out. And secondly, actually, I'd say 3 things. And secondly, I would say to my quarterback, if you ever throw under those sticks on 3rd and short, 3rd and 2, you will have a problem. And then I would say to my offensive coordinator, if you ever call that play again, okay, on underneath. Now, I get it. There's motion. There's this. I get all that. And there's checkdowns. I get it. And then, of course, I would say to Najee Harris, because I'm really tired of hearing about the offensive line. And I'm really tired. I see now on Najee says, last year, our workhorse Najee said, hey, I carried the ball more than anybody in the NFL. It's great. I'm the workhorse. I can handle it. Keep giving me the ball. Now Najee says, yeah, might not be such a great idea. That bothered me. I don't know if it bothered you, but it bothered me.
I never would have taken a running back in the first round because I think they're interchangeable. Even when he was having success, I said that last year. I think that even when he was, gaining 1,200 yards, that pick was much more valuable to take as an offensive lineman.
You said that all along. I'll attest to that. You did say that.
All along. But Najee Harris doesn't make enough people miss for me. That's just not happened. Again, I think he's very good. But I think if you have a very good tackle in that place where you drafted him, that you can, and I wouldn't have taken Pickett either. If you had two offensive linemen that were first-round guys, you could have somebody like Jaylen Warren run behind them and run very successfully behind them.
And Mitch Trubisky is an absolutely adequate quarterback to take this team to the playoffs. The other thing I would say to Najee Harris is take away that offensive line. Take it away. You come into camp, you're 240 pounds, solid muscle, you're beefed up, you're a badass. You have no offensive line. Pretend they're gone. You have none. There's 4 shots I'm going to give you from the 2-yard line. Get the ball in the end zone. I don't care if you have to do a pirouette. Get the ball in the end zone. Don't come home until you do. That's what I would do.
I kind of understand where you are. I haven't seen Najee Harris make his own yards. I saw Le'Veon Bell make his own yards. Now, I don't want to be too hard on the guy because I do think there are times where maybe he's turned -2 into a no gain. But I saw Le'Veon Bell a lot of times turn a 2-yard gain into 9. I saw him turn 5 into 17.
Yeah, he's the biggest. That's probably the biggest mistake that ever occurred in his life and in ours. That he didn't play for us because his whole life would have changed. He would have had a career here. We would have had a running back, and we would have had success. So I am upset by that. Can't change it, but the kind of running back that personally I thrive on. What's his name in Green Bay?
Oh, yeah. No, a guy that has a different skill set, a guy who can do a bunch of different things.
His legs never stop churning.
Right.
Ever. What's his name, Colin?
No. What's his name? It's on the top. Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones. Give me that guy. I was hoping he would be released as a free agent last year. And I was hoping the Steelers would have grabbed him if he was, but he's too valuable. But that type of back that his legs just keep moving all the time, and he finds those yards that don't seem possible. And I don't jump up over the heap. Don't just go right through it.
Right.
And so that's really what I'm looking for. I think Najee has the ability, but if he's going to start with nagging injuries, and I really was a little surprised that he said, I can't. We do need to have somebody be able to spell me.
Well, if his body doesn't work, and that's where I think a good topic comes in, Richard, is this. If Najee, and look, you can't go if your body doesn't work, and maybe his body doesn't work and his foot doesn't work correctly. That being said, then was Mike Tomlin derelict of duty for playing him at all in the preseason? If it's a preseason lingering injury, why did he play in the 3rd preseason game? And why didn't he just sit down and try to get healthy until he was healthy?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. That's a really good question. And then I saw Mitch Trubisky say somewhere last night, maybe on Pro Football Talk, that Mitch Trubisky said that we need, as an offense, need to be more aggressive.
I understand the sentiment. I don't think the Steelers want to get into throwing it all around the yard, throwing it deep. What I think the Steelers need to do is simply try to use the middle of the field more because they don't use the middle of the field all that much. I think if they try to get more aggressive, i.e. throw it deep, throw it down the field, do things that are outside of the way they normally comport themselves, that turns into a bunch of 3 and outs. What I need to, and then it's even worse. I need to see them use the tight end over the middle. I need to see them throw it to the running back over the middle. I need to see them just use the middle of the field, and I think that helps a ton.
Quick slants right across the middle.
Yes.
I saw each year, the first 2 years with Juju Smith-Schuster, take that play and turn it into a touchdown.
Well, take into account the team they're playing this week. They're playing the New England Patriots. Nobody in world history was able to find no-name running backs and no-name receivers over the middle like Tom Brady was for guys that – and think of this. Visualize this with me because you saw the games the same I did. Sometimes Tom Brady would throw to Corey Dillon or throw to Lawrence Mulrooney or someone like that. They would catch the football, Richard, with their back to the goalpost, facing Tom Brady 7 yards up the field. And when they would catch it, no one else was on your television screen. It was all green, cleared out in the middle. It was just all grass.
Yeah.
And Brady took what they gave him. I'd like the Steelers to start to do that with the tight end and with some receivers over the middle. They don't use the middle of the field.
Well, except we had Chase Claypool run the ball 6 times. What is that? That's great, but you have to. I agree with you. That middle, that short middle, is really an important part. But it's also one of our weaknesses on defense. That short middle. But by the way, and I want to give credit where credit is due. I thought Devin Bush played a great game.
If we spent an enormous amount of time, and rightly so, both here and in other places all over the media in Pittsburgh, crushing Devin Bush, it's only fair to point out when he plays good, or at least good for him. And without his performance the other day, and Larry Ogunjobi, but especially Devin Bush, because you didn't expect it, the Steelers aren't that dominant. There was never that moment of time that we've had, and we've talked about this a million times, and we've texted about it too. There was never that moment of time, Richard, where we said and yelled at the TV, "What is he doing?" that you normally get every game. We didn't have that.
No, we didn't have it. And I saw him. He was aggressive. He attacked the ball. I mean, he just was. I thought he was fab. I thought he was the Devin Bush in his first year that we saw. I really did. And I was actually really happy for him because he has taken a lot of criticism from everybody.
Rightly so. But it's good to see him. That's a standard he has to play to if you're the number 10 pick overall. I mean, that's
like Mike Tomlin says, if you're a varsity player, you got to play varsity ball.
I agree. I agree. Now, what about the wrangling and the hankering for some people? Because I could already see this, and I know where you sit for Steeler games, and you're able to get a good vantage on a lot of people in the stands and everything. If Mitch Trubisky throws 2 incomplete passes in a row, he's going to get booed on Sunday, right?
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous.
Me too.
I think it's ridiculous. I hope not. I don't think Kenny Pickett's the answer today. I don't want them to get caught up in that because I think you'll hurt Kenny Pickett's long-term success. I think that, unless Trubisky gets hurt, and in that case, then I think, you have to do it. But I really would stick to the plan. I think it's a good plan. I think that even though he didn't play, I think Kenny Pickett is learning, and it's a valuable asset to learn that because once you have that learned behavior in your head, you can execute it a lot easier than discovering it and executing it in the same play.
I agree with that. If Kenny Pickett was going to be ready this year, he would have been ready out of camp. Yeah. Other than that, he is someone who's a relief pitcher.
Yeah. And you know what? And that's okay because, Ben wasn't charted to be a starter when he did. He went down, Tommy Maddox went down, and Ben stepped in and never looked back. So the plan with Ben was pretty much the same. The difference, though, in that team was you really had a team. You had a Bettis. You had Ben was plug and play in that team, right? And I think all we had we just told Ben really simple: don't lose the game. Don't lose the game for us. Just follow the script, and we'll take care of the rest.
Well, I see a lot of, and that's the thing. The people who are out against Mitch Trubisky right now.
Yeah.
Didn't he do, in a way, in a game like that, that's exactly the guy you want in a game like that, where things aren't going great, the defense is carrying you, and you want somebody to say, hey, we're not having our best day. Just get us through. I don't think I want a young kid in a game like that.
No, I don't. Because that's the opportunity where you could lose that game just because of it's a rookie mistake. Just stay stable, keep us, because nothing was clicking for us offensively. It wasn't the quarterback's fault, right? And so just manage the game. And that's what he did. And I think he did it great. I personally love Mitch Trubisky. I do. And I like Kenny Pickett, but I like them in their assigned roles right now. And I hope we don't get too antsy. And it bothers me that Mitch is going to get booed if he throws 2 incomplete passes. But it'll help him if he throws a touchdown the very first time.
I agree with you. I know, and you know this too, how Pittsburgh fans are, and they're fickle, and how people are. And they're just – the only thing Mitch Trubisky ever did wrong is that he's not the other guy. He's not named Kenny Pickett.
That's interesting.
That's the only thing he ever did wrong. It's the way I feel about it.
But remember, Kenny Pickett has hometown advantage. You know, I mean, he's home field advantage. He's here. It's his stadium. He played in the stadium. He's homegrown. He's homegrown on the University of Pittsburgh. He's homegrown on that stadium at the practice field. It's his to take. And so I understand people wanting to see him. I understand the passion for him, but I also don't want to see the passion against Mitch Trubisky, because I think Mitch is a good guy. I think he's a good leader, and he's a good quarterback, and I think we will win with him if we make the adjustments. And the first one is FMC. And FMC, you know, should stand for Ford Motor Company, and I'm big on that.
Certainly.
But it actually means Fire Matt Canada.
Ooh, oh, wow.
Yeah. Sorry.
I have a question.
He's not the guy.
How about this move?
Go ahead.
I've been pondering this all day.
Go ahead.
Now, and this can involve Kenny Pickett or not, and even if it doesn't, if you really want to get rid of Matt Canada and things don't go well, Nebraska just got rid of their head coach and fired him, Scott Frost, very early on in the process here of this season. Their offensive coordinator is Mark Whipple.
Oh, yeah, but we know who doesn't like Mark Whipple. Please, Mr. Whipple, don't squeeze the Sherman.
But he has been credited by Kenny Pickett himself for making Kenny Pickett go.
100% I'd put him in.
And he worked for Mike Tomlin in the past.
100%.
I think even if you don't fire Matt Canada, you make, as soon as you can, an offer to Mark Whipple to come back here whenever you can. He doesn't want to live in Lincoln, Nebraska. Nobody does. Not even Lincoln wanted to. Lincoln didn't even want to live in Lincoln, Nebraska. You bring him back as soon as you can.
Okay, I love it. I love the move. I didn't know he was available.
Well, he's not necessarily, but his head coach just got fired at Nebraska, which means he won't have a job beyond this year.
Yep, I love it. I think that's the play. I love it. I have to wrap it up if that's okay.
Will they beat the Patriots? Yes or no?
100% they'll beat the Patriots. You will see the real Mitch Trubisky, and I say the Steelers by 10.
I say the Steelers by 13. Richard, next week it is. I will talk to you.
Thanks, Colin.
See you, brother.
Very best.
Thanks, sir.